Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're on the sixth chapter of this book, Perfect Question, Perfect Answer. And it's the same date, February 29, 1972, but it's in the evening. So like, if you remember in the introduction of this whole book, that video that we watched, it is mentioned that Bob Cohen would tell that Prabhupada used to call him multiple times in a day just to speak with him. So here's another instance in the evening where he calls him. And Bob begins by asking, Srila Prabhupada, earlier today, we were discussing the need to practice austerity in Krishna consciousness. So if you remember, the fifth chapter spoke about this, where Srila Prabhupada quoted a verse from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nayam deho deha bhajam nirloke kashtan kaman arhate vid pujam ye tapo divyam putrakaye na satvam. Tapo divyam. The goal of human life is to practice austerity. So in the evening now, Bob asked Prabhupada the same thing. Can you say something more about that? So Srila Prabhupada said, yes. Under the direction of the spiritual master, one should practice austerities. You have no mind to follow austerities, meaning you do not want to follow austerities. But when you accept the spiritual master, you have to carry out his order. That is the austerity. So austerity is very important, like we saw in the earlier chapter, that helps us to become better versions of ourselves. Now, ordinarily, none of us would like to follow any voluntary or austerity, but when a person accepts a spiritual master, a guide, a trainer, someone who they have faith in and listen to, so just to please that person, the superior, so one will take some voluntary difficulties, and that actually is good for the person. The Shyam Sundar then replies, even if you don't want to practice austerity, you must. Srila Prabhupada says, yes, you must. Because you have surrendered to the spiritual master, his order is final. So even if you don't like it, you have to do it to please me. Comes in the, Srila Prabhupada, but you don't like it, he laughs. Nobody likes to fast. But the spiritual master says, today fasting. So what can be done? Shamsundar laughs. A disciple is one who voluntarily agreed to be disciplined by the spiritual master. That is austerity. So this is the most important part about spiritual life, where when a person accepts a guru, one is voluntarily agreeing to become disciplined, right? Become tamed. The wild senses, the wild mind, the wild emotions are we are agreeing to become tamed by the guru. So now, on this point of fasting, fasting is voluntary hunger. So I just like to direct your attention to this. I have a audio on my YouTube channel. It's called Fasting versus Starving. So I'll share this on the group later. But for those who are watching this video, then you can head on there to understand what's the difference between fasting and starving. Many people are, though both are not eating, right? But they have different consequences, different motivations. So Samsundar continues, many people in the material world may be completely enamored by material life and they don't want to undergo any austerity or bodily pain, but still they must. They are forced by nature to suffer austerities. So here Shamsundar, the secretary of Srila Prabhupada, is giving a point that you say that, no, I don't want to follow any austerities, but by nature's way, we are all forced to follow some austerity. Right? So Prabhupada says that is forced austerity. That is not good. Only voluntary austerity will help. Right? So forced austerity, for example, a person is, there's a saying in English, if you do not eat your food like medicine, please be very carefully and select it, you'll be forced by nature to eat medicines like food. You see, sometimes people who have, just indiscriminately eat when they were young and younger, then they get so much diseases. Now old, they have to take so much medicines. So if you do not eat your food like medicine, carefully, selectively, what is good for you, take it in moderation. You will be forced by nature to eat medicines like food, right? So this is called forced austerity, right? It is not good because it doesn't elevate. So therefore, that audio which I mentioned just now, the difference between starving and fasting. Fasting is voluntary, starving is involuntary. Starving is forced. There's a big difference. Shyam Sundar replies, but if you don't undergo voluntary austerity, then you must be forced to undergo austerity, right? If you don't want to, you have to. Like, for example, at a young age in life, Shastras say that one should control the senses. Now, if someone says, no, no, I will not control, but later when one becomes old, automatically one does not have the capacity only, right? So if you do not, we do not practice some voluntary austerities now, nature will force it upon us, but that will not bear the same results. When we follow voluntarily, we uplift ourselves. But when we have to force to follow, then that does not elevate us actually. Srila Prabhupada. That's the difference between man and animal. An animal cannot accept austerity voluntarily, but a man can accept. Suppose there are some nice sweets in the confectioner's shop. A man wants to eat them, but he sees that he has no money, so he restrains himself. But when a cow comes, immediately she pushes her mouth in. You may beat her with a stick, right? Uh, so for those who have dealt with cows, the cows, they have very thick hide, very thick skin. Even if you hit them, right, we feel it's very painful, but they have very thick skin actually. But of course, the cow, you see, sometimes you're hitting also, and still she's pushing the face. She doesn't care about the hitting. She will tolerate it. Therefore, an animal cannot undergo austerity. Right? Still, they will eat. But then Srila Prabhupada continues, our austerity is very nice. Why? We chant Hare Krishna, we dance, and then Krishna sends very nice food and we eat. That's all. So why are you not agreeable to such austerity? This austerity is not only uplifting, spiritual austerity, but it's also a clean, beautiful life. Chanting, dancing, eating nicely. And because we are following austerities, Krishna sends us nice things. So we are not losers, right? What is the result of austerity? Result of austerity is phala. You get a lot of fruits of the austerity, right? So Krishna sends so many things. When you become Krishnaized, you get more comforts than at the present moment. It's a very powerful line, Prabhupada writes. When you become more devotional, then naturally your material comforts also will increase. Sometimes people are saying that I don't want to become a devotee now. Let me improve my material situation. You become a devotee first. Naturally, your material situation will improve. You don't have to ask for it also. That's a fact, Prabhupada says. I have been living alone for last 20 years, Prabhupada is saying. But I have no difficulties. Before taking sannyas, I was living in Delhi. And although I was living alone, I had no difficulties, Prabhupada said. Sam Sundar. If you do not accept spiritual discipline, then nature will force so many calamities. Srila Prabhupada, oh yes, Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya duradyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So Krishna's Daivi Maya, Krishna's spiritual energy, the divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Maya is imposing so many difficulties, but as soon as you surrender to Krishna, no more imposition. Right? So it is one of the benefits of becoming a devotee, benefits of practicing devotional life. Shamsundar continues to say, we are so foolish that we are always thinking, in future, I will be happy. Isn't it? This is like the tagline that everyone carries. In future, I'll be shortly, in no long time, I'll become happy. Prabhupada says that is Maya, illusion. That is like the ass, donkey. You sit down on the back of the ass and hold a morsel of food on its front of its face. The ass is thinking, the donkey is thinking, let me go forward a little, I should get the grass. Bob laughs. But it is always 1 foot distant. This is assism, donkeyism. Everyone is thinking, let me go a little forward, I'll get it, I'll be happy. We see in the world today, people living in one country thinks that, oh, if I move to this country, I'll have a better life. And people in that country thinks if I move to this place, I'll have a better life. If I get this job, I'll have a better life. If I move to this city, I'll get a better life. Like that, for generations after generation, people are running around the whole world and no one is happy, isn't it? There's a long pause filled with sounds of bicycle horns, children playing, and throngs of people calling to one another. Then Bob says, I thank you so much. Tomorrow I have to leave you. Then Prabhupada says one of the most famous, powerful lines which we saw in our introduction video, where Bob remembers this one line. Prabhupada says, don't talk, leave, but live. So this line is what hit Bob like anything. People are just leaving, people are just existing and leaving. But he said, don't leave, but live. what actually life is about. Just simply eating, sleeping, moving around, spending the time, going through daily activities is not living. Actually living is understanding the purpose of life. Bob, I cannot yet. I must return to my town tomorrow in Bihar, back to his duty. Srila Prabhupada, don't return. Bob, I should stay here? Bob is asking, I should stay here tomorrow? Prabhupada says, yes, stay here. Bob, somehow this point he turns around. He says that if you tell me to stay, I'll stay. Srila Prabhupada, yes, you are a very good boy. There's a long pause. Now everything is very quiet. So if you remember the introduction video, sometimes Bob says that when Prabhupada says you're a very good boy, he felt like as if a pet dog, Prabhupada's dog, someone saying, good boy, good boy. The Prabhupada says, yes, you are a very good boy. It is very simple. When the living entities forget Krishna, they are in the material world. Krishna means his name, form, abode, pastimes, everything. When we speak of a king, it means the king's government, his palace, his queens, sons, secretaries, military strength, activities, everything, is it not? Bob says yes. Prabhupada says, similarly, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as we think of Krishna, this means that we are in touch with Krishna and all his energies. That is complete by saying Radha Krishna. Radha represents all the energies of Krishna, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So when we speak of Krishna, the living entities are also included because the living entities are one of the energies of Krishna, his superior energy. When this energy is not serving the energetic, that is material existence. The whole world is not serving Krishna, or they are serving Krishna indirectly, just as disobedient servants serve the government indirectly. Right? So how is it? How is prisoners? How are prisoners or disobedient citizens serving the government indirectly? Criminals or those who are anti-government people. So Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example. Okay, prisoners come to the prison house on account of their disobedience of the law of the state. But in the prison, they are forced to obey the law of the state. Right? Wake up this time, eat this food, bathe this time. So they in outside the prison, I don't like this government. I don't want to listen to you. Fight against the government. But the moment they are caught, they are put into the prison where they have to follow the rules. They have to follow the rules of the government they don't like. Right? So similarly, all living entities here are godless, either by ignorance or by choice. Right? People, some just don't know. Ignorant people are innocent. Choice people are very envious. They're dangerous. They do not like to accept the supremacy of God. Demoniac. We are trying to bring them to the original condition, that is Krishna conscious movement. We are trying to rehabilitate the prisoners. Bob replies, I'd like to ask you something. So here now he changes the topic, understanding about austerities, right? Voluntary austerities, acceptance. Now he takes another topic related to this. Bob says, I'd like to ask you something I talked with devotees about medicine. I walked to the river with some of the devotees today. I have a cold. So I said I shouldn't go into the water. Some felt I should go because it is Ganges. And some said I shouldn't go because I have a cold. So like this, they were talking. I don't understand. Do we get sick because of our bad actions in the past? We get sick because of our karma? Prabhupada says, yes, that's a fact. Any kind of distress we suffer is due to our impious activities in the past. Any kind of sickness, problems, any kind of distress. So Bob says, but when someone is removed from karmic influence, does he still get sick? Because earlier Prabhupada mentioned the moment a person becomes a devotee, it doesn't have to do with karma, right? Initial discussions. So person, if he does not have karma, then why is he getting sick? Prabhupada says, oh no. Or even if he gets sick, that is just temporary. So a person who has taken shelter of the Lord actually has no karma, but somehow if he gets sick, it is just temporary. For instance, this fan is moving. If you disconnect the electrical power, the fan will still move for a few moments. That movement is not due to electrical current. It is due to what is it called? Momentum. Okay, some physics here. So similarly, a devotee having taken shelter of Krishna, karmic activities are disconnected. He is no longer creating karma, what is called as kriyamana karma. He is no longer creating karma. but the momentum of karmic life, right? That is being erased, but at the same time, there's some residue. So we are suffering our residual karma. And, uh, it's only just a token punishment, as Srila Prabhupada says. It's not the real deal because we are doing bhakti. So all karma is being nullified by the grace of Krishna. But at the same time, some residual things are remaining, just like the fan is still moving in momentum. So Srila Prabhupada continues, momentum. But as soon as momentum is gone, there is no movement. Similarly, if a devotee who has surrendered to Krishna, suffering from material consequences, that is temporary. Therefore, a devotee does not take any material miseries as miseries. He takes them as Krishna's, God's mercy. So this Prabhupada is giving the mood which devotees see. If a devotee becomes a little sick, a little unwell, whatever it may be, for some difficulties come in a devotee life, he knows that this is just a temporary phase. This is just some residual karma. This is just something which is not so important. So he takes it as Krishna's mercy. How? Krishna wants me to become serious. Krishna wants me to engage more in bhakti. Krishna is actually just nullifying whatever I had. Krishna is giving me a token punishment of whatever difficulties that I went through. Bob, oh, Prabhupada, that attitude seems only possible for a perfected soul. Who can see problems as a blessing? Srila Prabhupada says, a perfected soul, what's the definition of perfected soul? A perfected soul is one who engages 24 hours a day in Krishna consciousness. That is perfection. That is a transcendental position. Perfection means to engage in one's original consciousness. That is as Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 8.15. So what does this mean? 24-hour engagement means the devotee is constantly thinking about Krishna. He goes to work thinking that, I'll connect people to Krishna, I'll use the money for Krishna service. He's not bothered so much about the details. He's just moving his entire life, always connecting everything to Krishna. Cook for Krishna, serve Krishna, decorate for Krishna, talk to people for Krishna, sing for Krishna, produce for Krishna, draw for Krishna, work for Krishna, collect for Krishna, speak for Krishna. Everything he does is just connecting it to Krishna, whatever he may do. So the sloka goes, Mamupetya punarjanma dukalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. Anyone who comes to me does not return to this miserable temporary world. That is complete perfection. Samsiddhi. Siddhi means perfection. That is Brahman realization, spiritual realization. Samsiddhi means devotion, which comes after Brahman realization. Samsiddhim. Bob, could you say the last thing again, please? Prabhupada says, Samsiddhi. Yes. Sam means complete, samyak. And Siddhi means perfection. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that one who goes back home, back to Godhead, has attained complete perfection. So perfection comes when one realizes that he is not this body, he is spirit soul. That is the Brahma Bhuta stage, called Brahman realization, where one realizes that he is spirit. That is perfection. And Samsiddhi means complete perfection. After this Brahman realization, when one engages in devotional service. Therefore, one who is already engaged in devotional service is to be understood. Brahman realization is there. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that traditional goal of life is person to realize that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. That is called Brahman realization, Brahma Bhuta. That's a great thing. But beyond that, Samsiddhim, ultimate perfection is engaging in bhakti. So Prabhupada says, I've given you the topmost already. I've directly engaged you in bhakti. So because I've directly engaged you in bhakti, automatically that realization that I'm spirit will come. Right? Prabhupada gives a shortcut method. Therefore, it is called Samsiddhi. So now Bob has a doubt. Bob says, I ask you this very humbly, but do you feel diseases and sickness? Because we discussed now, a perfected person does not. A person who is a sadhaka still going through, they experience all this. So he's asking Prabhupada, do you experience all this? Prabhupada in all his humility says, yes. So Bob says, is this the result of your past karma? Prabhupada says, yes. So here we have to understand Prabhupada's humility. Prabhupada is a pure devotee of the Lord. He did amazing thing which no one could do in this world, to give Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness to places and in such a way that it's not so acceptable by all. So here Prabhupada's humility, he's saying that I'm just, a conditioned soul like you all. That's not truth. That will be revealed later in this conversation. Prabhupada says, so one in this material world never escapes his karma completely. And Prabhupada says, no. Prabhupada says, yes, he escapes. No more karma for a devotee. No more karmic reaction. The Prabhupada says, this is the Siddhanta, this is the philosophy. That ultimately the devotee does not go through karmic reaction. Then Bob says, so if that is the case, then you are the best of the devotees. So you should not have karma. Why did you say like this, Prabhupada? Prabhupada says, no, I don't consider myself the best devotee. I am the lowest. Can you imagine? This so beautiful Prabhupada's humility. New person, he just met a couple of days, and the person is glorifying him. Prabhupada says, yes, yes, I am the Vishwa Guru, Jagat Guru. I am the true Guru, the Sat Guru. Prabhupada doesn't say like that. He just says that I am the lowest servant of all. Bob replies, no. Srila Prabhupada, you are the best devotee. Prabhupada points to Bob. Prabhupada is appreciating how Bob is so sincere, coming forward, right? So he says like this. Bob laughs. No, 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 no. What you always say seems right. So you must be the best devotee. He said, what you're sharing seems so right and true. You are the best devotee. Then Prabhupada explains the tattva now. He gives the real answer. He says, the thing is that even the best devotee comes to the second class platform when he preaches. So what is this? We have seen in other places. There are three categories or levels of devotee. Kanishta adhikari, a new Kanishta. He does not very firmly fixed up person. And then we have madhyama adhikari, a mediocre devotee, and an uttama adhikari, an advanced devotee. Uttamadhikari, one who sees that everything is already a devotee, people will become devotee over time. Ultimately, the jiva, the soul by nature is a devotee, whether covered, not covered. So he is not so bothered about preaching. The Uttamadhikari sees that, today or tomorrow, 10 lifetime, 1 million lifetime, ultimately they will become devotees, no problem. He's happy. He sees the whole world as devotees. So the second class person, Madhyama Adhikari, he actually discriminates. Oh, this person is not a devotee yet. Let me help him to become a devotee. This person is a devotee, this person is not. He makes a distinction. The Kanishta Adhikari does not have this distinction. He does not know. Sometimes he gets cheated. He goes after someone thinking they're a great devotee and his bhakti gets affected. Bob says, what would the best devotee be doing then? If a Madhyama Adhikari, a second class devotee, is the one who preaches, then what is the best devotee doing? Prabhupada says the best devotee does not preach. Bob says, then what does he do? Oh, he sees that there is no need for preaching. For him, everyone is a devotee. Bob laughs. Yes, he sees no more non-devotees, all devotees. He is called an Uttama Adhikari. But while I am preaching, how can I say I am the best devotees? So Prabhupada is saying, I'm making distinctions, I'm preaching, I'm choosing New York or San Francisco, I'm choosing Bowery or different places based on the, some distinctions I'm making. So here Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhupada's humility actually, Prabhupada saying, I'm preaching, how can I say I'm the best devotee? Preachers are not the best devotee, second class devotee. So he says, just like Radha Rani, she does not see anyone as a non-devotee. Therefore, we try to approach Radha Rani. And Bob asks, who is this? Name, Srila Prabhupada says, Radharani, Krishna's consort. Oh, okay. Prabhupada says, if anyone approaches Radharani, she recommends to Krishna. He is the best. Here is the best devotee. He is better than me. And Krishna cannot refuse him. That is the best devotee. But it is not to be imitated. I have become the best devotee. One should not think like, oh, look, I'm such a best devotee. No. So then Prabhupada quotes the definition of a Madhyamadhikari, Ishvare tat adhineshu bhalisheshu disvashuja. This comes from a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see here. This is the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 46th verse. Ishvare tad adhineshu bhalisheshu dvishatshucha prema maitri kripopeksha ikkaroti sam madhyama. So the Madhyamadhikari, the second class devotee, the preacher, these are the qualities. So Prabhupada told that at least devotees should try to come to the second platform. First platform, Kanishta devotees, they just keep fighting, among each other. So at least come to the second class platform. Second class platform, this is how they deal with four kinds of people. They deal with Ishvara, means God, right? They they deal with devotees, adhineshu, those who are connected. They deal with Bali Sheshu, innocent people, and they deal with Dvishatsu. Dvishatsu means the envious people. So four kinds of people that they discriminate. How they deal with God, how they deal with the devotees of God, how they deal with the innocent non-devotees, ignorant people, and how they deal with the envious non-devotees, those who have accepted some path or who are not going to change, very stubborn. So four ways they deal. What are the four ways? Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Prema for the Lord, they love God. Maitri, friendship with all devotees. Kripa, they show mercy to the ignorant non-devotees, innocent and ignorant. And upeksha means they avoid, they neglect the envious people who have already followed some path, some programming, something in the mind, that they do not want to surrender, they're always causing trouble. So these people they neglect. So this is the way in which the madhyam adhikari deals. So Srila Prabhupada says is very important for us. We should at least try to come up to this platform. A second class devotee has the vision that some are envious of God, Dvishatsu, but this is not the vision of the best devotee. The best devotee says, nobody is envious of God. Everyone is better than me. Right? This is the Uttamadhikari. Just like Chaitanya Charitamrit's author, Krishnadas Kaviraj, he says, I am lower than the worm in the stool. Right? So we see in the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrit, many places, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, great personality. He writes, that I am nothing. I'm just like a worm in the stool. I'm the lowest of the lowest. I'm the smallest. So this is a great humility. Bob, who is saying this? Robert says Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrit. Puri Shera Kita Hoite Mui Se Lagishta. He is not making a show. He is feeling. He said, I'm the lowest. Right? Everyone is the best, but I am the lowest. Everyone else is engaged in Krishna service, but I am not engaged. He's not simply saying this, he actually feels it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, oh, I do not have a pinch of devotion for Krishna. I cry to make a show. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying like this. This is not his statement. This is actually out of his own humility. If I had been a devotee of Krishna, I would have died long ago. Right? But I'm living. That is proof that I'm not a devotee of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna is not here. I'm feeling separation of Krishna. But the very fact that I'm still alive, that means actually I don't have love. Because if I had love, I would have died long time ago. Like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in his humility is sharing. That is a vision of the best devotee. He is so much absorbed in Krishna's love that he says, everyone else is a devotee, I am the lowest. Therefore, I cannot see God. This is actually the mood of the best devotee. This cannot be imitated. We cannot fake it. It comes very naturally. So then Bob thinks about this and he says, so a devotee must work for everybody's liberation? Prabhupada says, yes, a devotee must work under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, not imitate the best devotee. So while we are in this world practicing, a person may be a best devotee, but at least externally when we deal or when we function in this world, we should function on the madhyama platform, under the instructions of spiritual master, trying to, preach. Sham Sundar says, he interrupts this conversation. He says, he points to Prabhupada, he's saying that once you said that sometimes you feel sickness or pain due to the sinful activities of your devotees, can disease sometimes be due to that? Right? Because Guru is accepting so many disciples, accepting the karma of disciples. So earlier Prabhupada is saying that, he has his karma and of course that is his humility. But here Shamsner reminds on this point, Prabhupada, it's not your karma. It's because you have taken the karma of so many people. So Prabhupada says, you see, Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami masucha. I will deliver you from all your sinful reactions. Do not fear. Krishna is so powerful. He can take up all the sins of others and immediately make them right. Right? Just it destroy everything. But when a living entity acts on behalf of Krishna, he also takes the responsibility for the sinful activities of his devotees. Therefore, to become a guru is not an easy task. This is actually the reality of it. Nowadays, there are so many gurus, here and there. People are proclaiming gurus, taking discipleship. But actually, guru is not an easy task. You see, he has to take all the poisons and absorb them. So sometimes, because he is not Krishna, there is some trouble. It troubles the Guru. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden, do not make many disciples. But for preaching work, Prabhupada says, to expand the preaching, we have to accept many disciples, even if we suffer. That is a fact. The spiritual master has to take the responsibilities for all sinful activities of his disciples. Therefore, to make many disciples is a risky job, unless one is able to assimilate, digest all the sins. So reading this, someone should not feel that, oh, I will not take initiation. I don't want to burden the Guru. No, one has to take it ultimately. But one should also think in a higher, let me become qualified that I will also take, I will not burden the Guru, that I will also take some responsibility and I will help and assist the movement instead of just trying to take a neuter path and run away. So Prabhupada says this pranam mantra to Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanyebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. I offer my respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Just like desire trees, they can fulfill the desires of everyone. They are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. The spiritual master takes responsibility for all the fallen souls. That idea is also in the Bible, Prabhupada says. Jesus Christ took all the sinful reactions of the people and sacrificed his life. That is the responsibility of the spiritual master. Because Krishna is Krishna, he is apapa vittha. He cannot be attacked by sinful reactions. But a living entity is sometimes subjected to the influence because he is so small. Big fire, small fire. If you put something in the big fire, if you put some big thing in a small fire, the fire itself may become extinguished. But in a big fire, whatever you put is burned up. The big fire can consume anything. Beautiful example. So Bob thinks about this. He says, Christ's suffering was also of that nature, that he was crucified because of that. Prabhupada says, yes, he took the sinful reactions of all the people. Therefore, he suffered. There's a saying in Christianity also that Christ, Jesus died for our sins, forgiving our sins. That means he had taken the sins of the people. And Prabhupada many times say, that people gave their sins to Christ, killed him, and still they're sinning. Still they're continuing to sin. So where is this then? So Bob says, I see. Srila Prabhupada says, in the Bible, it is said that he took all the sinful reactions of the people and sacrificed his life. But these Christian people have made it a law for Christ to suffer while they do all nonsense, right? They do confessions, they confess their sins, and they say, okay, Christ has taken it. So Christ keeps on suffering, and the people keep on sinning, right? They confessed on Saturday and sin again on a Sunday, like that. Such great fools they are. They have let Jesus Christ make a contract for taking all their sinful reactions so they can go on with all nonsense. They sign a contract. You suffer, I'll just enjoy. That is their religion. Christ was so magnanimous that he took all their sins and suffered. But that does not induce them to stop all the sins. They have not come to that sense. They have taken it very easily, very cheaply. Let Lord Jesus Christ suffer and we will do all nonsense. Is this not? Yes, Bob. Bob says, yes, it is so. Prabhupada, they should be ashamed. Lord Jesus Christ suffered for us, but we are continuing the sinful activities. He told everyone, thou shalt not kill, but they are indulging in killing, thinking that Lord Jesus Christ will excuse us and take all the sinful reactions. This is going on. Prabhupada continues, we should be very cautious. For my sinful actions, my spiritual master will suffer. So I will not commit even a pinch of sinful activities. That is the duty of the disciple. After initiation, all sinful reaction is finished. Now, if he again commits sinful activities, the spiritual master has to suffer. A disciple should be sympathetic and consider that for his sinful activities, his spiritual master will suffer. So then a person may think that, okay, I do something wrong, Guru is suffering. How do I, get connected with this? Because for making the Vaishnava suffer, Krishna is going to get back at you. We lose taste in our devotion. If the spiritual master is attacked by some disease, it is due to the sinful activities of others. Therefore, the injunction is don't make many disciples. But we do it, Prabhupada says. Although the injunction is that, Prabhupada says we are doing it because we are preaching. Never mind, let us suffer. Still, we shall accept these disciples. Srila Prabhupada got around 5,000 plus disciples. So your question was whether when I suffer, it is due to my past misdeeds, was it not? That is my misdeed, Prabhupada says. If you're asking, was it because of my karma? What was my karma? My karma was this, that I accepted some disciples who are nonsense. That is my misdeed. That is my only karma. So Bob says, this happens on occasion. It occurs always. Srila Prabhupada says, yes, this is sure to happen because we are accepting so many disciples. It is a duty of the disciples to be cautious. My spiritual master has saved me. I should not put him again into suffering. Of course, when the spiritual master is suffering, Krishna saves him. Krishna thinks, oh, he has taken so much responsibility for delivering the fallen persons. So Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. So it's not that Krishna allows his loving devotee, the spiritual master, to suffer just like that. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Spiritual master is protected because he takes the risk on account of Krishna. So Bob inquires about this. He says, your suffering is not the same kind of pain we feel. Srila Prabhupada says, no, it is not due to karma. Just see. Now Prabhupada explains, right? So someone who read half this chapter may just leave there thinking that Prabhupada also has karma. But no, Prabhupada says, no, it is not due to karma. The pain that is there sometimes so that the disciples may know, due to our sinful activities, our spiritual master is suffering. Bob says, you look very well now. Srila Prabhupada, I am always well in the sense that even if there is suffering, I know Krishna will protect me. But this suffering is not due to my sinful activities, Prabhupada says. Okay, because earlier when he asked a personal question, Prabhupada is replying in a personal way, humility. But here is a question about tattva, siddhanta, the truth. So Srila Prabhupada is speaking the truth. So Bob says, in the town that I live in, I take boiled water because some of the water has disease in it. Now, why should I drink boiled water if I had been good enough not to get the disease? Then I may drink the water. So he's saying that if I was a good person, even if I drink bad water, I would not suffer. And if I had not been acting properly, then I will get disease anyway. Even if I boil the water so much, if I'm a bad person, I will still suffer. So Srila Prabhupada says, so long as you are in the material world, you cannot neglect physical laws. Suppose you go to a jungle and there is a tiger. It is known that it will attack you. Why should you voluntarily go and be attacked? It is not that a devotee should take unnecessary physical risks. Right? Someone may say that I am a devotee of Krishna. Let me jump up mountain. I'll be saved. Gravity is there, isn't it? So he should not think, now that I become a devotee, I challenge everything. That is foolishness. This is demoniac actually. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjata nirbande Krishna sambande yuktam vairagyam uchyate. The devotee is advised to accept the necessities of life without attachment. Right? That one should utilize what is there in the life, physical. He'll take boiled water, but if boiled water is not available, does that mean that he will not drink water? If it's not available, he will drink ordinary water. He will take Krishna prasadam. But while touring, sometimes we have to take some food in a hotel, Prabhupada says. Very rare if we can avoid. Because one is a devotee, he should think, I will not take any food from this hotel. I shall starve. If I starve, then I'll be weak. I'll be not able to preach. Right? So practicality is there. You're not going to die one day, but one should not make a habit every day eating a hotel and saying, I need to live on this. That's making a habit. So the Prabhupada saying devotees are very practical. Bob, does a devotee lose some of his individuality? Prabhupada says, no. He has full individuality for pleasing Krishna. Krishna says, you surrender unto me. So he voluntarily surrenders. It is not that he has lost his individuality. He keeps his individuality. Just like Arjuna in the beginning. He was declining to fight on account of his individuality. But when he accepted Krishna as the spiritual master, he became a disciple. Then whatever Krishna ordered, he says, yes. That doesn't mean he lost his individuality. He voluntarily accepted whatever Krishna says, I will do it. It's a very important discussion because many people nowadays think that after death, after I get liberation, after I get moksha, mukti, whatever they may call it, I become nothing. I lose what I am. I was nothing, I became something, now again I'll become nothing. Not like that. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very clearly says, second chapter, 12th verse, that our individuality is eternal. We was an individual before, we are an individual now, we will always be an individual. But just like all my disciples, they have not lost their individuality, but they have surrendered their individuality. That is required. For example, suppose a man does not indulge in sex. It does not mean that he has become impotent. If he likes, he can have sex 1,000 times, but he has voluntarily avoided it. Right? Sometimes people say, oh, you're vegetarian, you can't eat meat. It's not that I can't eat. I don't want to eat. There's a difference. Can't means you're forced. I don't want, meaning voluntary. Param drishtva nivartante. He has a higher taste. Sometimes we fast, but that does not mean we are diseased. We voluntarily fast. It does not mean that I am not hungry or cannot eat, but we voluntarily fast. So we're coming into the initial discussion. Bob says, does the devotee who surrenders keep his individual taste for different things? Right? Some people like this, some people like that. Even after surrendering to the guru, do we still have some individuality? Prabhupada says, yes. Bob says, does he keep his individual likes and dislikes? Prabhupada says, yes. He keeps everything in full, but he gives preference to Krishna. So Prabhupada explains himself. Suppose I like something, but Krishna says, no, you cannot use it. Then I shall not use it. Right? Like many devotees, they like mushrooms and they may like onion and garlic. But now Krishna says that these are the things that, they are in tamagun, in ignorance, mode of ignorance. So we do not offer them to Krishna. So I will not eat them. Simple as that. I give it up for this Krishna's sake. Positively, Krishna says, I like these things. So we have to offer to Krishna what he likes. And then we take prasadam. Krishna likes Radharani. Therefore, all gopis are trying to push Radharani to Krishna. Krishna likes the gopis. All right, push her forward to him. This is Krishna consciousness, to satisfy Krishna's senses, not satisfy my senses. That is bhakti. That is called prema, love for Krishna. Krishna likes this. I must give this to him. Then now, Bob, because we're talking about prasadam, Bob comes a very beautiful discussion point here. He says, some prasadam I like and some I find not at all to my liking. Prabhupada says, you should not do like that. Perfection is whatever is offered to Krishna, you accept. That is perfection. You cannot say, I like this, I don't like that. So long as you make such discriminations, that means you are not appreciated what prasadam is. No disliking, no liking, whatever Krishna likes, that is all right. So a devotee then says, but suppose someone prepares something for Krishna but does not make it very nicely, doesn't cook it very properly. Prabhupada says, no. If made sincerely with devotion, then Krishna will like it. And sometimes we see in our festivals, especially, Janmashtami and big festivals where we tell people you can bring bhoga, you can bring naiveda to offer to the Lord. And we find all kinds of funny things, sometimes people make, sometimes they forgot to put salt, this and that. But we do not know what is their devotion. If they are very intent and please Krishna accept this in the most beautiful way, Krishna may accept it, right? Just like Vidura, Prabhupada gives the example. Vidura was feeding Krishna bananas, but he was so absorbed in the thought that he was throwing away the banana and giving Krishna the skin. And Krishna was eating the skin. Everyone was laughing. Krishna knew that he was giving him the skins in devotion. And Krishna can eat anything, provided there is devotion. It does not matter whether it is materially tasty or not. Similarly, a devotee also takes Krishna's prasadam, whether it is tasty or not. We should accept everything. Then a devotee says, but what if devotion is not there? Prabhupada says, if devotion is not there, Krishna does not like any food. How tasty it is or not tasty, he does not accept. Then a devotee says, in India, Prabhupada says, oh, India. Don't talk of India, talk of philosophy. Because sometimes people say that Krishna likes only Indian food. Isn't it? If there is no devotion, Krishna does not accept anything, whether in India or in your country. This is the principle. Lord Krishna is not obliged to accept anything costly because it is very tasty. Right? India, they put a lot of ghee and they cook like that. But if there's no devotion, Krishna will not accept it. How much ghee you put also. Krishna has very many tasty dishes in Vaikuntha. He is not hankering after your food. He accepts your devotion, bhakti. That real thing is devotion, not the food. Krishna does not accept any food of the material world. He accepts only the devotion. Right? We see in Srila Prabhupada's time also devotees, they invented a sweet. They call it simply wonderful, right? Or just using milk powder and they make into this laddus, milk powder, no? Evaporated milk powder, and then they make into this laddus balls, and Prabhupada ate it. Prabhupada's like, wow, what is this? They told Prabhupada, there's no name, we just created it. No? Prabhupada says, we call it simply wonderful. Right? And it became an ISKCON now. White color, small, made of evaporated milk powder. So someone may say, evaporated milk powder? Ah, in India, they might be like, what is this, But that is more amazing because it's done with devotion. So Prabhupada quotes this verse, which is the essence of what Prabhupada is speaking here. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tat aham bhakti upahritam ashnami priyatatmana. Krishna says, patram, a leaf, pushpam, a flower, phalam, fruit, toyam, water. Whatever it may be, whatever with devotion, bhaktya prayachati, that you offer to me, tat aham bhakti upahritam ashnami. I eat the devotion. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, again, we see how Krishna is using all singular, not plural. He's not saying many fruits, many leaves, he's using singular. So merciful. I will accept it because it has been offered to me with devotion and love. It is devotion that is required. Therefore, we do not allow anyone to cook who is not a devotee. These are rules in the temple. Because if you're not a devotee, you're not chanting, you're not practicing, you're not following, that means you do not have love. Naturally, isn't it? A person who practices, meaning he wants to become a devotee, that's a big thing. Krishna does not accept anything from the hands of a non-devotee. Why should he accept? He is not hungry. In India, they have this 56 bhojan, chappan bhog, let me just feed God. But God is not hungry like that. God is only wanting devotion. He does not require any food. He accepts only devotion. That is all. That is the main point. So one has to become a devotee, not a good cook. What a powerful line. But if he is a devotee, then he will be a good cook also. Why? Because the moment a person becomes devotee, he's always thinking how I can please Krishna. Oh, Krishna likes eating butter. Krishna likes eating ghee. Krishna likes eating these puris and luchi, chini, sarpuri, all these different items that I mentioned. So they want to cook that for Krishna. So naturally, when a person becomes a devotee, he will become a good cook also. Automatically, he will become a good cook, Prabhupada says. Therefore, one has to first become a devotee only. Then all other good qualifications will automatically be there. Sometimes people come and they say that, I want to cook in your kitchen. He's like, who are you? He said, I'm a very good cook. It's not about being a good cook. First, you be a good devotee. And if he's a non-devotee, any good qualifications have no value. He's on the mental plane, so he has no good qualifications. This we have also seen prayer of Prahlad Maharaj, right? This translation of this verse where Prahlad Maharaj says that Manoratena Bhavati Bahi. That a person, as long as he's a devotee, he has good qualities of all the demigods. If he's not a devotee, however nice a person is, you cannot, right, have faith on that person because his so-called good qualities are just born because of his karma. It will change. It can change. So Bob says, I still do not understand about prasadam. Prabhupada says, prasadam is always prasadam. But because we are not elevated sufficiently, therefore we do not like some prasadam. Very simple language. I find some prasadam too spicy. It hurts my stomach. Prabhupada says, well, that is also due to not appreciating only. But the cook also should have some consideration. Right? Some consideration he should have. But ultimately, there's no appreciation. Krishna must be offered first-class foods. So if the cook offers something last class, he is not performing his duty. But Krishna can accept anything if it's offered by a devotee. And a devotee can accept any prasadam, even if it's spicy. Hiranyakashipu gave his son poison. After offering it to Krishna, the son drank it as nectar and remained unharmed. Right? Prabhupada gives an example. So even if prasadam is very spicy to others, it is very palatable to the devotee. What is the question of spicy? Krishna was offered real poison by Putana Rakshasi. But he is so nice, he thought she came to me as my mother. So he took out the poison and delivered her. right? So even if one makes it not good, bad, spicy, whatever, offer to Krishna, Krishna can nullify anything. So devotee should also, from our side, we should give up this materialistic knowledge, but from the devotees who's cooking, who's doing the seva, they should try to do the best with consideration. Krishna does not take the bad side. A good man does not take the bad side. He takes only the good side. Just like one of my god brothers, he wanted to make business with my Guru Maharaj. But my Guru Maharaj did not take the bad sides. He took the good side. He thought he has come forward to give me some service. Bob says, let us say some devotees have some medical trouble and cannot eat certain types of food. For instance, some devotees do not eat ghee because of liver trouble. So, should these devotees also take these kinds of prasadam? Now, Bob is being very practical. Prabhupada says, no, no, no. Those who are not perfect devotees may discriminate, right? Because we are not perfected, we feel that, oh, I have this liver trouble, I have that sugar, let me avoid this, let me avoid that. But a perfect devotee does not discriminate. Why should you imitate a perfect devotee? So long as you have discriminations, you are not a perfect devotee. So then why are you artificially imitating a perfect devotee and eating everything? Person is not advanced and he's saying that, no, no, I'm very advanced. Let me eat everything. Then he'll get diseased because he's not advanced. The point is, Prabhupada says, a perfect devotee does not make any discrimination, Uttamadhikari. Whatever is offered to Krishna is nectar, that's all. Krishna accepts anything from a devotee. Whatever is offered to me by my devotee, I accept, Krishna says. The same thing is true for a pure devotee. Don't you see the point? A perfect devotee does not make any discrimination. But if I'm not a perfect devotee and I discriminate, why should I imitate the perfect devotee? It may not be possible for me to digest everything because I'm not a perfect devotee. A devotee should not be a foolish man. The Prabhupada says, don't challenge nature. It is said, Krishna ye bhoje se bhada chatur. Right? Who worships Krishna is a very intelligent person. So a devotee knows his position and he's intelligent enough to deal with others accordingly. Right? Not artificially try to act it. So very beautiful practical points Prabhupada is saying also. From our side, we understand the philosophy, we understand our nature to our level, we try to deal with it. From the, I know, whether we accept, don't accept prasadam, whatever. From the servant's point of view, the sevak's point of view, they also should be a little considerate with the devotees taking the prasadam and all that. And they want to give the best to Krishna. So it's a beautiful chapter talking about perfection. We started off talking about austerities, right? Talking about voluntary, involuntary, surrendering to the Guru, voluntarily surrendering to Guru. We talk about then prasadam, medicines, and so on and so forth, right? With all this vision of material and spiritual. So thank you all so much. We'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.